So look, I've got a handful of questions to ask you. So forgive me again if I sound a lot as if I'm all over the place. So I saw your fight with Ryan Delf, and I have to say, and not just Ryan Delf, of course, your most recent fight, but the Ryan Delf fight is what the fight that really it kind of like, wow, that's pretty awesome. Just how you handle the fight because I think it's a good example of how what size doesn't always matter because in that fight I was thinking, well, if the other guy, if Delph gets a DK on the ground, it may not end up, but you handled that fight so well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Ryan Delf, it was interesting. I've been doing my career for almost 13 years. So on the back end, it's kind of hard for the find people to fight me. And the Delf situation, it actually showed up on 3 day notice, like it says and stuff like that. And yeah, it just worked out. Everything hands off the Delf, and it just shows you that muscles don't really mean nothing in fights. You know what I mean? Because it's ironically he's a bodybuilder, but I always said if muscles won fights, bodybuilders would be champs of the world. But yeah, I've been in the game a long time, and it was just fortunate I took that win. And the way he came at me wasn't probably the best because he tried to stand with me. I'm a striker, but like you said, if he would have pushed me up against the cage, sat on me a little bit, it could have been real tricky in the second, third round because I had zero conditioning. Because I literally found out Wednesday, Friday I'm fighting, had to take the fight because no one was fighting me, and it actually catapulted me through rankings. So I'm glad I did it.
Yeah,
So it worked out.
awesome. That's really good. Well done. 3 days notice. I mean, good that's really good. I mean, were you hesitant to take that fight? Because me myself, I'm not an athlete, and I respect you for what you do. I really do, because of course it's a very brutal sport. Everybody sees the action that happens in the cage. It's entertaining. It's exciting. But nobody sees the hard work that goes on in the background, the making weight, the cutting weight, the extreme training and preparations that go on. You've got to really work on your diet and make sure that nothing goes amiss to make sure that you are prepared as best as you can for fight nights or fight day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to answer your question, I was very hesitant to take it. My manager at the time actually, he told me I was fighting, and I wasn't really arguing with him, but I was just trying to let him know that like it doesn't matter how good of a fighter I am, if I have zero conditioning, I can't throw punches. And I don't like to use the word camp, but it ended up working out, and I ended up thanking him at the end, and he believed in me when nobody else, even when I wasn't really believing in myself, and it was just fortunate that I went in there and got the finish because, like I said, I had zero conditioning, and I don't care how good of a fighter you are. If you can't throw your hands, you're not going to win a fight, and that's all I was pretty scared about. So, I kind of stay in like shape, and I stay in shape, but now I'm to the part of my career. This was like almost a year and a half ago, but since I've been on this little run, now instead of doing training camps, I kind of live the life of a fighter. Every day is a training camp. Instead of just doing training camps, that's where I was kind of was because, I'm on a 4-fight win streak, number one across the board. So any opportunity can turn up, and I just got to be ready. So
Yeah, I saw that your rankings.
just try to stay ready.
You shot straight to number one. I was like, that's pretty awesome. That was really good. I was so
Thank you.
happy for you.
Thank
Um,
you.
your record 17 wins, and is it 17 and 6? 17 and
Seven.
7.
Seven.
So
Correct.
let's take it back. As in, where did your interest in, at least if there's mixed martial arts, but in the broader sense, where did your interest for combat sports start? As in, what got you interested into this type of sport?
Well, I've always been an athlete. Played football my whole life. I always thought I'd be a football player. Middle linebacker I played, but I wrestled for 12 years from kindergarten on. And I was just always intrigued with the whole fighting aspect because, I played organized sports for so long. And I'm the type of guy that puts everything in anything I do. And like sometimes, like hindsight 2020, when I look back, sometimes like you got to rely on other people. And I didn't really like that. Like fighting, you win, it's on you. You lose, it's on you. It's a team aspect sport because I can't do nothing without my team, NCMGT, Red Schaefer, Coach B, and all them. But at the end of the day, it's on me. So like if I train hard and I put the work in, I win, it's on me. I lose, it's on me. So I always love that about that. So that's intriguing to me.
Nice.
And I love Mike Tyson. And I love Mike Tyson.
Sure. No, I like that. I really like that. Um,
Thank
but
you.
going into well, before I go into that point, my interest really started just a few years ago, as in just kind of at the height of the pandemic. I mean, here in the UK, I just went for a kickboxing session with my coach, and it felt very therapeutic. You know, when you hit in the bag, you had a really bad day, you're dealing with lots of assholes and lots of jerks and annoying people. It's a really good way of just getting rid of that stress and frustration. And that's where my interest for the sport started. Now, I'd had no intention to compete professionally, but there's one thing that did come to my mind, and that is injuries to your head and to your body, and so on. And that the concern really came from my family. Even though I wasn't going to compete professionally, when my mother saw that I was doing this just for training purposes, for exercise, she was really saying, "Why would you want to go and do this?" Because she was concerned about the dangerous aspect because of hitting. She was thinking the same thing could be happening to me. Was your family, did anyone or even very close friends, did they have that concern for you? And in fact, did anyone try to talk you out of it to begin with?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to your mama. She definitely does love you. I think every mama's had that talk. My family had the same talk with me. You know what I mean? They're just like, protect your head. But at the end of the day, they're glad I'm doing this than doing other stuff, you know, other extracurriculars like being in the streets and stuff like that. So like fighting's helped me so much. And yeah, like I always tell everybody, not everyone's a fighter, but we all got fight in them. So like back to what you're saying, you have a shitty day at work, you know, you get to hit the bag, it's therapeutic. And I'm just blessed enough, you know, coworkers make you mad or whatever situation, bosses, you know, upsetting you, you go there, hit the pads. And I'm just blessed enough to be in the occupation where if my coworkers make me mad, I get to punch them in the face. So that's kind of the difference. But yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. And, you know, like I said, it's the sport's not for everybody, but we all got fight in us. So hitting the bag, it's probably natural to a lot of people, you know, so I can understand where, you know, you catch the liking to that and stuff like that. And that's good for you, man. So appreciate it.
So in a run, if I keep getting my tongue twisted,
oh, that's fine.
In a run up to a competition, in a run up to a fight, for yourself, what's your camp like? Because I looked at your topology, your record, and I saw your gym that you're fighting out of. The guy is named after the head coach himself, Schaefer Jim or so.
He's the man. Red Schaefer. Yes, sir. 9-time UFC vet. Yep. 9-time UFC vet. He's a little bit older than me, a couple of years older than me. I looked up to him, man, and he put together one of the state-of-the-art gyms in the Midwest, and if not in the United States or in the world. He's got everything you got there. I got my boy Coach B. I got all the training partners in the world because, you know, in MMA, you're only as good as your training partners. You're only good as your coach. You know what I mean? You want to follow the process, trust the process. Iron sharpens iron. Get yourself a good group of guys that you can trust, and you all make each other better. And that's what Red Schaefer really brings to that. He's got the jiu-jitsu, he's got the conditioning, he's got the boxing, he's got the Muay Thai, he's got everything over there, all compacted into one element, one gym. And that's special. And that's why I chose him. And he's been nothing but good to me. Him, Coach B, everybody over there, Timmy, Kimmy, everybody over there training, you know, iron sharpens iron. I love those guys. There's actually, I think there's like 7 of us competing this week between Iowa and all the states, Iowa and Wisconsin. There's like 6 or 7 of us competing. So we stay ready. So, you know, I'm just blessed to find a gym like that. So
nice. No, that's good. Again, looking back at the topology, I looked at the in-depth record of the gym, quite a few names of them, and they've got good records. And of course, looking at your own record, definitely the results speaks for itself.
Yep.
So let's say you're going to be preparing for a competition, for a fight. Just take me through as briefly as you can. If you like, go into detail, your preparations. What would your camp be like?
For me, you know, everything runs through my management, NCMGT. Miss Nicole, she's been the best to me. She took a chance on me. I'll never embarrass her. So shout out to my management. Everything runs through her. She got that one call, that's all, to the big league. So when she knows I'm ready, then I'm gonna take that step. But training camp for me is just you know, I try to stay in the gym, so I stay ready. But you know, diet's number one, conditioning's number one. I've been at this stuff for 13 years. I just like to polish my skills, pretty much do everything a beginner would do. I don't skip classes. I don't think I'm too big for any classes. So go to the wrestling, the jits, the Muay Thai, every class. And you just want to get that muscle memory down. Stick to your diet, get enough sleep. Don't do any extracurriculars. Keep your eye on the prize. You know, so I trust my team. I trust the people around me, and I trust the process. So whatever they do, whatever once you find that team that you can trust the process with, you just listen to them. So I listen to everything Coach B and Coach Red tell me, and my management tells me, and I put in my work, and then they put in theirs. So whatever they want me to do, I do. Whether it's just anything, running 10 miles, whatever, just to get ready. Because at the end of the day, you know, I'm affiliated with them, so anything I do embarks on them, and I just want to make them proud.
Yeah,
So
I understand completely, because there's a whole
yeah,
handful of people behind you supporting you, and
absolutely,
you're well, not somehow, but you are representing, you are an ambassador to them, yeah, to them and
absolutely.
their brand. So I completely agree with everything you said. I might be bashed for saying this, but you've been in the sport for a long while, like 13 years. You're a veteran of the sport, clearly, obviously.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I would look to how you fight. You're very entertaining to fight, very entertaining to watch. That's
Thank you.
entertaining to watch.
Thank you.
Um, at this stage now, in your age, and with all of the success that you have under your belt and behind you, you never considered moving, say, trying to get into the bigger names in the sporting scene. I mean, I can appreciate that nobody wants to, and that's actually okay. But one thing I do hate is that you have people like yourself that are really, really good at fighting, really good at the sport, but I can see they don't really get that proper recognition, that name value that you truly deserve.
Yeah, correct. I've done everything in this sport, and let me bounce back. When I say people won't fight me, it's on the regional circuit. As a fighter and as an athlete, I hope most fighters' goal is to get to that next league. I'm not money influenced. I'm none of that. I just want to put a damper on my 13-year career, saying I made it to the Bellator UFC, and that's good enough for me. I've done everything. I've been fighter of the year. I've been rookie of the year. I've been had knockout of the year. I've been number one all across the board. Have 6 titles. I don't have kids, but when I have kids, I have stories to tell
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
But all I'm trying to do on this last effort of the back end of my career is just make it to that Bellator, that UFC, just so I can, because that reflects on stuff I want to do after fighting, when I open a gym and stuff like that. It sucks that we're in a society that's based on labels and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So having that will the franchise Dicke sounds pretty cool, but will the franchise Dicke UFC vet or Bellator vet sounds cooler. So it's just pretty much a peace of mind. You know what I mean? I owe it to myself, and I will not stop till I get there. So that's why I work hard every day, and it's just every day is like a movie, every fight's like a movie, and I'm starring in it. And it's the back end of my career, and I know that, and I'm just trying to enjoy the process, man. And if it works out, it works out. If not, it was a hell of a ride.
No,
No shame in my game, man. I had a hell of a ride, fun as
no,
hell.
that's good,
So,
because a lot of people do go to the bigger names such as the UFC, and I think they're really shocked
yep.
and given a rude awakening when they get there. Unless if you're someone special, let's say Conor McGregor or one of those one or two few people, um, unless you have that sort of speciality about you, you're treated like crap. You made, from what I've heard,
Yeah,
you've made you so many awkward things. So no, I like your answer, and actually that for me, you come across as a young head, what do they say, an old head on young shoulders. You're very, very wise,
sure.
very, very wise.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. It's how I grew up. So appreciate it.
Your nickname, the franchise, where did that come from?
Funny, well, originally I wanted to be, my name's William, and I wanted to be Billy the Kid. You know what I mean? I was younger. I was like 21. Billy Kid is the old Western guy. I thought that was pretty savage. But my boy at the time was like, you can't give yourself a nickname. And I was young. I was like 20. And as an amateur, I was 21 as an amateur, and I was number one amateur. And he's like, man, you're like the franchise. Like Steve Francis from the Houston Rockets. He's an NBA player. They used to call him the franchise. And it kind of just stuck, man. So like, I remember when I tried out for the Ultimate Fighter season 11 down in California, I was talking to Dana White, and I'm in front of the green screen and everything, and I remember he asked me what the franchise meant, and I was just so starstruck I couldn't even talk. I just stood there and like, he's like, what, like McDonald's and Taco Bell? And I'm just like, yeah, no, man, it just means all work all the time. I'm about my business, so yeah, so that's where it stuck. So it's kind of catchy, so I just ran with it. So
Okay, no, nice. I like that. Um, so when are you going to be seeing you fight again? Your next fight?
we're in works right now. Like I said, my management, it was a tough wake up for me. This last fight when I fought in Oklahoma for the belt. So right now I'm just getting better. I mean, getting that muscle memory down and stuff like that, because I've only been training solid for about 5 months now. And, you know, it takes a good 6 to 8 months for your muscle memory to get down. Like, I know when I'll get that spring back in my step. Like, I won this last fight, and, you know, I'm grateful for that. But we're working on something in the New York area, that's something more down south, because I pretty much expunged all my my resources here in the Midwest. I got one guy that I'll probably be fighting at the end of summer. His name's Colton. He's a stud too. Shout out to him, number 2. But that's probably going to be the move to whoever wins gets to the big league. So I'm gonna get these training camp in. I'm gonna keep working hard, and then I'm gonna win, or I'm gonna compete, and then I'm gonna see Alton at the end of the summer, and that's a big fight because he a monster, and it'll be whoever wins that's definitely gonna get the call to the next level, because my management says I'm ready for the next level, but she wants me to stay in the next level. Like, I'm 36, but what's so beautiful about fighting is that you don't have to jump 10 feet in the air or run a 4.240, meaning as you age, like, you know, the age expectancy in fighting is a little bit longer than it would be in the NFL and that. So I got a little bit of time, you know what I mean? But I don't got much time. So it's like, go. But we're trying to stay in Bellator. We're not trying to just have one and done. And I listen to my manager, like I said, NCMGT, she's Miss Nicole's been good to me. And she told me straight out my last fight, she's like, you're getting better. And, you know, I got 20 some fights in, and this girl's telling me how it is. And I love her for that. She's like, we're almost there, but we're not there yet. I could get you there, but you're not going to stay. And she kept that shit real with me. So she wants me to get better. So I'm going to get better. So
no, that's good.
That's all.
It's nice that I can clearly see you've got a trustworthy network around you and behind you.
Absolutely.
That is good, because one thing I've seen in this sport is that when people, especially managers and agents, when they see that maybe this person isn't getting the wins, they're not entertaining, or they don't have the popularity, they're not drawing in that value or so popularity themselves, they kind of cut ties and wash their hands with them. And I've heard stories about that happening. I hate it. I absolutely hate it completely.
Well, even more than that, like, I love my manager. Like, a lot of other managers, I'm not gonna put no names on them, but they would want to hurry a guy like me to the big show, because that means more money for them. You know what I mean? Because bigger pay. She's not like that. She could give a shit less about. Obviously, it's money motivated for some, but this is a passion for her. Like, she could easily just throw me to the next level and get a payday, but she ain't trying to do that. She's like, let's take a process. Let's build you up from the ground level. And I really respect her for that, Miss Nicole. You're awesome, and I really respect her for that, because she really does care about her fighter. We're a small group. There's only like 15 or 20 of us, but I think 60% of us are in the big league, and we're mighty, man. So NCMGT is a stud management, and I'm proud to be a label of them. So
nice. This Nicole, you've spoken really positively and passionately about her. She has on Instagram as well.
Yes, NCMGT, Nicole, it's NCMGT fighter, common spelling, NCMGT, and if you look her up on Instagram, she's amazing, man. She really cares about her fighter. She like Mama Bear, and she's a matchmaker. She was like matchmaker of the year a couple of years, and she went into managing, and we got a stud team behind us. And like I said, she took a chance on me 2 years ago, and I've been undefeated since. And I just started listening to the process, and just the vibe she gives, like, it's not like money. Like, she's special, and she's gonna be in the game for a long time. So I rep NCMG to the fullest, and even right now I got a shirt on. You know what I mean? I love this girl. So
good.
Man, like that's she like I said, she took a chance on me. So shout out to Mr. Cole and everybody at Reds and everything else. So
good. No, that's great. Sorry, for some reason I get so tongue twisted while I'm speaking.
Sorry, man.
So you mentioned about cutting weight. Now I've heard some things about certain things that have happened to you first, and I've seen certain things that happen, live in weigh-ins for the UFC Bellator for one championship. And I've seen some fighters when they're standing on the scale at the weigh-in, they will actually faint after cutting so much weight. I've heard some stories of fighters lost so much weight for a fight that so much mass has been taken out from their body that even their brain, they can feel it, just a slight rust. You've heard of stories like that before?
Yeah, that the fluid of the brain. Yeah, that happened to me once. First of all, that's a horrible weight cut, because if you have a weight cut like that, I got almost 70 fights in amateur and pro, and if you have a weight cut like that, it doesn't really matter what you did in training camp, because your condition is going to be shit. What I mean by that is like you got 24 hours to replenish your body, rehydrate. And when you're that low on hydration, it's tough to replenish in 24 hours as it is because we're not allowed to use IVs anymore. Back in the day, we could use IVs. It's like double time hydration. You know, you plug an IV and you're over with. But I fought twice 185 and I'm a big boy. You know what I mean? And I remember my motto used to be stop eating Monday, stop drinking Wednesday, and then cut the rest of weight, which was a horrible way to cut weight. And what I do is just sit in the sauna and drop like 20, 30 pounds of water to the point where I'm on the way to the scale and I'm dry heaving and all the water is out of my eyes. My brain feels like near death. It's like a near death experience. You're so dehydrated that you can barely get on the scale. And then after you get off the scale, you can't even chug water because if you chug water, you're throwing it all up because your body can't react. It's just a horrible next day. It's like crap. So me personally, I like to stay in shape, keep my body fat down and, you know, weigh in the scale. Like there's a few other fights where I just weighed in at 205. Like this last fight, I was 204. It was kind of a tougher weight because, like I said, I let my weight get away from me. But usually I just walk on the scale. I'm 205, 206. I like to stay nice and lean, like I am for this weight camp. So, you know, it's a little better. I feel better. Then you know, got like cutting weight sucks, man. Like some say it's 3/4 of the battle. You know what I mean? So I understand what it's cutting weight. So
you say you've done that to the extent that you felt your actual brain within your skull moving around.
Yes, sir.
Because the fluid just drained completely.
Not moving, but like it's just like I said, I just my whole body shut down. Like I said, my eyes, all the water were out of my eyes. I couldn't see. It was a horrible weight cut. And this was at 185 when I fought Whisper Goodman for Combat USA. And I was just dry heaving on the way to the scale. I couldn't even walk. Like it was horrible. So that's why I don't fight 185. So hats off those guys that won championship UFC that cut all that water. I actually think there's a limit now of how much you can cut to save fighters from, because they used to cut so much weight that it sometimes it'd be emergency, you know, situation. And I think there's only so much you can cut now to save fighters from that, because fighters used to do extreme stuff. Man, I've heard stories about, people cutting like blood, like a bunch of crazy stuff, like losing blood so they can make weight, over hydrating themselves, and people fainting because you drink too much water. It's like weird, yeah. Like waterlogging. There used to be this thing called waterlogging where you drink so much water, but then it unbalances you where you'll just pass out, and like it's crazy, man. Or you go into a seizure. A seizure, that's what it was. I'm drinking too much water. Yeah, it's crazy. But I try to stay away from stuff like that. Yeah, so
draining blood from blood. I think that you really shouldn't do that, because the blood carries the nutrients for the body.
Absolutely.
You really shouldn't do that at all.
And these are
yeah.
Oh no, I was just saying these are all just extreme cases. Like I've been in the game 13 years, everything. Like I'm not saying people do that now, but like that's just some of the extreme stuff I've heard, people making weight. And you know what I mean? I just, it's just crazy. So
now, knowing that, and even having that experience, first-hand experience of what it's like to cut weight down to a very, very low number. If you had a fight coming up and it was you saw what was on the table, was low money, and it's a big name that you're going to be competing against, would you go through all of that again?
I'm not really money motivated, so if the fight was there, I'd have to, but I would definitely try to stay away from 185. I don't think I could make 185 anymore. You know what I mean? I'm just too big now. You know what I mean? This was when I was early 20s, and before that, the last time I was at 185 was like the 8th grade year. You know what I mean? So there was a span of like, but 185 might be off the table unless I hire a nutritionist. But by myself, it would be a tough cut, because it's tough enough, to get down to 205 right now, because I'm such a big guy. You know what I mean? I walk around 240, so get down to 206 is to get down to 206 the right way, where you're lean and stuff, is tough. You know what I mean? But I do it, so, and I feel the best at 205. Heavyweight, I fought a couple of heavyweight shows. I'm number 1 in heavyweight, but heavyweight was just because nobody else would fight me at 205, so I'd have to take a heavyweight fight. So I like 205. That's where I feel the best at. And hopefully when I get to the next level, that's where I stay, because let's be honest, nobody wants to fight a guy that cuts to 265. That's, 6'11". You see some of those big boys in the UFC. I'm trying to fight those big asses.
the state of the mixed martial arts scene, and in fact the combat sporting scene. Well, let's kind of like stay a bit close to mixed martial arts. There's quite a few things going on at the moment. There's the Cain Velasquez situation with his daughter that then there's a situation that's happened again, supposedly. I think so far what I've seen between Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal after they fought, and also there's the situation. Well, it's been an ongoing situation now for more than a year. The Jake Paul and Logan Paul situation that's going on. I try not to talk about the Paul brothers. I really, really do. But sometimes, even now, it seems to be almost impossible because of people are talking about them. And even Dana White, I think, from what I could see in a few posts today, he said, it was said that he had made Jake Paul an offer or so for something to fight.
Really? Yeah, I didn't see that. I'm gonna go check that out. I know Eagle FC. Eagle FC made him an offer. Was it Jake Paul or was it his brother?
Probably.
They made him an offer.
I don't know, but I think maybe it might be Jake Paul. Jake Paul's the one who's been making the most noise about to the UFC. About participating and so on.
I know I seen something with his brother. Like, I don't like to speak on both of them because I feel like they didn't put in the work. But to say one thing, I think his brother Logan, he was on a podcast. Dana White was on a podcast, and he didn't say no. I know he didn't say no to him fighting because I know he's got a wrestling background from Iowa or Ohio. I think he's from. But the Cain Velasquez situation, I don't really want to speak on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course.
Politics, but as a male, I don't blame him. I mean, like, I wish he was a little smarter with it, and I wish he would have been like, got his bearings, and I'm not mad for what he did. I know it sounds messed up. I'm kind of just mad he got caught, if that makes sense, because he's such a good dude. You know what I mean? Like, that guy, like, the justice system let him down, and I don't really want to speak on it, but I support Cain Velasquez. So, but on the Masvidal Colby situation, man, there was just so much said back and forth between Colby and Masvidal. I'm a huge Masvidal fan. And the way Colby portrays himself, it was just a matter of time before somebody fought him. And like, everybody's like, he snaked them and shit, or whatever, making it all look like he snaked them and stuff. Man, that's a street fight, man. That's how that stuff is. Like, I can't see Masvidal just going up, running up behind him and just laying him out like that. Like, I just don't see it in him because he's such a stud. But don't say nothing about this kid's. I mean, Colby was saying stuff about his kids, something about sleeping on his wife's couch, and this is for Marissa, and you cannot not say that stuff to some people because some people will act out like he did. So I do not agree with Colby bringing the cops into this situation, regardless if Dane County in Florida was going to pick it up regardless. He could have been like, no, I don't want to press charges. That would have been the real thing to do because, bro, you got all that, you talking all that stuff, like, yeah, you got 25 minutes to fight. People are like, oh, he had 25 minutes to do something. Man, dude's a wrestler. Masvidal really wanted to put his hands on this guy, but, as a fighter, when you go against a top wrestler, you really can't do that. Wrestling skills aren't there. So I can see why he was so upset still after. And I just wish Colby wouldn't have got the police involved, or, I knew the police were called and stuff. It wasn't the best way. Like, you're a great fighter, but as a man, you suck pretty much. So that's where I'm at with that.
The time limit has appeared on my end of the Zoom chat. So can we reconnect?
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Just add me back on
this.
No, that's fine.
So you were saying about Colby Covington, but the thing is, wasn't Colby Covington way before all of this? Wasn't he the sort of guy that was nice and pleasant and he fought well in the UFC? But I think he had a serious conversation with Dana White. And Dana White said, "Look, you won't change your image and just how you are. We're going to cut you from the UFC." I think almost immediately after that, his whole demeanor just changed, became fresh-mouthed and rude and annoying and cheeky, So the stuff that happened with him and Jorge, how do you know that he's not pretending?
That's if he is, that's a dangerous game to be pretending. That's a dangerous fire. I think the whole situation went more like he was on a 7-fight win streak. He was boring as hell because he always wrestled everybody, and then he fought in Brazil. And I guess Dan Lambert from America Top Team, shout out to those guys, said, "Look, regardless if you win or lose, you're getting cut by the UFC." And then I guess he made like a drastic thing. Like then he said whatever he did after he fought Damian Maia, wrestled him, put the hands on him, and then was like, "Oh, you filthy animals, da 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 da." And then he did his like little skit thing, and it worked for him. But as a man, I don't care. The money's not worth it, man. I'm always gonna stay true to who I am, and man, he's just so fake that yeah, it's just not the way I do things. You know what I mean? Like shout out to him. If money is what motivates him to do stuff like that, then. But at the end of the day, I can't see him, laying his head down and being satisfied. Like he says he doesn't care what people think about him, but come on, man. As humans, we all do to a certain extent, and
yeah,
it's just not the way men do stuff. And I'm a man, so I don't, I just wish Kobe would have knocked his ass out, but didn't work out that way. So, or I would just wait. Excuse me, Jorge would have knocked
of course,
his ass out, but it didn't work out. Yeah.
Now, again, I try not to talk about these guys because I initially, even before they came onto the boxing scene, combat sporting scene, the Paul brothers, I did find them annoying, especially Jake. But as a veteran mixed martial arts athlete, as yourself, could you take someone like Jake Paul seriously? I mean, I've always said to other people I talked to about the sport, MMA and boxing, until someone like Jake Paul and even his brother takes on in a competitive professional stance a professional boxing match, until they fought someone who is a professional boxer, I can't really take them seriously. And I don't know where to put them. Whether they're just taking this thing as a joke, or whether they're actually being serious about this boxing career thing, because I haven't really fought any professional boxers, have they?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I don't want to speak for the MMA community, or the boxing community, but I think the big factor is that they think they can just jump in and leap over all these young guys or older guys or vets that put in all the hard work. People are kind of bitter because he's trying to bully his way in a sense. And I truly think if he just were to put his nose down, put the work in, and let it develop through years, and like put his work into the sport, people would have, had their hands out a little bit more. But the way he's going at it, I mean, again, it's making him money, and yeah, it's cool for the sport, but I feel like he's not even money motivated now. He's more, I want to get everybody's respect, because he's always talking about respect. Nobody respects me. Nobody respects me. Well, if you're looking for respect, son, that's not the way to get it. You know what I mean? You don't never demand that shit. That shit's given. And somebody really needs to pull him to the side, cuff him, and show him, how to be a man. And I think people respect him a lot more. So that's all I really got to say about those guys. I don't got no beef with them. I don't got nothing bad to say about them. But just put the work in. You know what I mean? And people will respect you if that's what you're looking for. Put the work in. You know what I mean? Shut up. Put the work in.
Absolutely, I agree with everything you said. I'm like you. Put the work in. And what I can't stand is that they don't have that background or experience. They've not started from the ground up. I mean, they may have the name value. They're famous for something, for doing these prank videos and being Disney actors and so on. But when it comes to the sport they want to break into and be fully respected in that niche, they've not started from the ground up like everybody else. I mean, even Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Anthony Joshua, all of the big names in the sport, whether they're retired or whether they're still actively competing, even they had to start from the ground up and work their way up to the top and earn earn the fame, earn the success, So,
Right.
Again, like I said before, until they fought someone who is a professional boxer, professional, combat sporting athlete, that is when I will have some. That's when I can decide whether or not to take them seriously or not.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. I'm on the same page.
So listen, you said you're still working on your next fight. You're still trying to sort that out. Look, it's a pleasure speaking to you. And before I let you go, is there anyone at all besides Nicole and your management agency or even your gym? Is there anyone who you want to give a shout out to? Any sponsors?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. Yeah, we all know Miss Nicole, NCMGT, everybody at Reg, Coach B, Timmy. Good luck this weekend, Brandon. Everybody freeze. Everybody at Coach Reg that's competing this week. Kimmy at Ice Blogs, thank you for the sponsorship. Mickey, thank you for the sponsorship. Man, I got so many sponsors. CBD department, you guys, thank you so much for the sponsorship. You guys been really good to me. Mostly MMA, Calf Kick Sports, Mom's Basement, my boy over at Mom's Basement, man, I love him. Thank you for the sponsorship. Thank you for this platform. You too, my man. You did an amazing job, man. I wish you nothing but luck in the future. You talk fluently. You're really easy to flow with. So there's a bright future for you. And hopefully after a couple more wins, I can come sit back down with you and we can talk about, hopefully with me beginning in the big league, I'll be your first one to make it to the big league. You know what I mean? So
of course, definitely.
I really appreciate you taking this time and let me talk and let me always got time for well-spoken gentlemen like you. So
thank you very much. Look, we will leave your all your social media links, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever we left, not just for you, but also for your gym as well, in the description section.
Thank you so much.
The video. Definitely. Look, thank you so much and good luck in your next fight. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.